Hi everyone, Amazing here. In the first video, this is where we actually stopped. But before we actually proceed, let me take you to the main dashboard that we've actually created that we're trying to replicate. So right now, here is the dashboard that we've actually created from the inception that you're trying to replicate and actually see how we can actually create something very nice as this. So right now, if I click on this particular 2012 right here, you'll see a pop-up right now that actually gives the value and percentage that this actually represents. And we have filter for contract, and we have filter for lower, middle earner and top earners and all of that. And I can actually go for this particular about right here, and it gives us the case study and the data summary right here, which means analyzing salary information from San Francisco government employees from 2012 to 2013. So right now I can actually have it closed right here. So there are a lot of things we can actually do, and if I want to actually clear the filter, I can clear the filter from here and all of that, and you can actually select any filter you want to actually see the dashboard about. So now we're back to the main view. I can go for the middle earner. You can actually set that kind of filter, and here is what we have. So right now, are you ready? Let us go to the main workbook right now. So here is the main workbook, and this is the data we are actually given, and we have what we call dimension and measure. So we have this particular dimension to be created, and this is what we're going to be using for the dimension, and we had actually done that right here on this particular part right here. Can you see that? Now the measure that we actually got created is actually the full payment we actually created. So if you want to actually look at how we created all this, please go to the other part of our video, which is the first video, and actually start creating that. So right now we're going to concern ourselves much about this payout on a yearly basis. So the first thing we're going to do right now is for me to just go to the top level right here and hit on my developer. So right now, if you don't have a developer right here, just try as much as you could to activate it, and go to this particular insert right here. And what you need to insert is actually this particular combo box right here. So just have a combo box sitting right in here, and boom, we're good to go. So now we have to start analyzing our data, but before we do that, so we just have to visit this analysis tool is empty right now. This is where we're gonna have our analysis right on. So without this sheet, I just want to use this to demonstrate to you guys. I just want to have it deleted. I'm just gonna say delete. It's gone forever. This is the colors we use. So the video number 1 will actually show you all that. So now I'm going to click anywhere from here and go to insert and insert word. I'm going to insert pivot table. That is beautiful. Now existing workbook. So I'm just going to go for what existing worksheet rather. Sorry for that. So go to analysis. I'm going to hit right here, and now I'm going to say okay. Now we just created our first pivot table right on this sheet. So now what am I going to do? We just will have to bring our year down right here. Now we have the year. So now to actually make sure we have this formatted pretty nice, I'm just going to click inside the year and actually go to design, and from design I'm going to go to the layout. I'm going to say show in tabular form, and the grand total is going to be turned off. I don't need that. So right now I can actually begin to actually say, okay, now what do I want to see? I want to see the count of employee in this particular years right here. I can actually drag any of the column right in here and make sure it defaults to what to count. And now what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to say number. So put that right here of employee. So just like this, I think I'm just going to be cool with this right now. I want to bring my base pay or overtime, order pay, full pay right here. This is exactly what we need to do. So right now I'm just going to have to highlight this right here and actually go on Ctrl H, and what I'm going to do right now is just to put my sum of right here and go and say replace all. Beautiful. Now this is what it is. So in case you actually lost somewhere thinking of what is this guy about to do, so right now let me show you what it is that we're trying to actually achieve right here. This is what we're trying to achieve. We can actually select base pay, we can select order pay and all of that, and it's going to actually get to show right here. But because we can't see it clearly right here, if we click on 2012 right now, we can see the value that is peculiar to 2012 and all of that. So the same value we have right here, so that it could be very readable. This is what we are trying to actually create. So right now it changes as soon as we actually change any of the filters. And if we go like, okay, we want to see the top earners, and exactly that is what we're going to see right here. So let's go back to the main workbook we actually creating this up. So now I haven't gotten this right now. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually have this closed for now because I don't need it any longer. So I'm just going to actually have to move this way, and now I'm going to have to select this, and actually Ctrl+1 will help me to get this particular format cell out. So I'm just gonna put that in what I'm gonna put that in currency, and the extra decimal is gonna be taken off. I'm gonna say okay to it. That is beautiful, right? Okay, so I want to make sure I actually highlight from here down to this particular aspect right here and actually make it a little bit closer. So I want to make it so that we can actually see it on a very nice screen. So I'm going to actually have to double click on it right now, and it expands out for me like this. So now I'm going to start actually doing my work from here. Right now I just want to get something right here. I think I have what I call, or what is that? Okay, for now, yeah, I have what I call transpose. So I'm going to actually click on transpose right here, and what the transpose is going to actually do for me, before I actually type on the transpose, I want to count the number of column right here, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So we have 5 columns, right? So I have to select the 5 columns we have, right? So after selecting 5 columns, I can actually type in my transpose right here, transpose. So I'm going to actually have to select this particular part right here. Once I have it selected, so what am I going to do? I'm going to have it close. I think right now I can hold my Control Shift and hit enter right now, and I have it right here. So what difference does it make? So right now if I come right here, I can now say okay, total employee, sorry for that, total employees. So right now I'm going to have that updated right here, so it's going to actually update for me dynamically. And if somebody is trying to actually override it and actually have it deleted, there is no way you can delete this because this is an array. So beautiful, you have learned something very new right now. So now this is the first thing we have to do, and the second thing we're going to do right now is to go back to our dashboard right here, and this is exactly what we have, the combo box. I'm just going to right click on it and actually select right here and go to this and actually, you know, get this field inside it. So I'm just going to go back here, and now I have to actually make sure I have this here, and I'm going to go right here and have this linked somewhere. So go back, I'm going to link it right to this particular part here, and now I'm going to have this particular to carry just 5. You know, that is exactly what it is. So I'm going to hit on OK. Now this is what we've gotten, right? So if I click here, I have my employee, total employee, I have the base pay, I have the overtime and stuff like that, and you can see is actually the third one we selected. So right now what I'm going to do right now is just actually click on here, right? I can actually go right equal to, and I'm going to actually have to, okay, before then what I'm going to do, yeah, I'm going to still do my equal to right here and bring this here, and what I'm going to do now is for me to actually drag this down. I have my ears right here. So what I have to do right now is that I want to see what is being selected on this particular third one right here. I think this is what is being selected, but I want to use function to actually determine that, to have the header to be some kind of very dynamic, right? So I'm just going to go right here and say equal to, I'm going to hit on my index right here, and the index is looking for the array, and the array is actually this, and for the row number it's going to be this particular one here. If I hit OK, it tells me that overpay has been selected. So let me select one here directly from here. It's going to give me total employee and stuff like that. So now we have to use what we call offset to actually get the values that is peculiar to total employee right here. I'm going to say offset right here. So offset, just go hit on your tab key and you have it right there. Okay, that's exactly what it is. So now what am I going to do? So the reference is going to be this particular 2011 right here. I'm going to hit comma. So it's asking me how many rows do I want to move. Do I want to move any rows up and down whatsoever? I don't want to move anything exactly. I just want to stay where I am. So I'm going to have 0 right here. And now if I hit my comma, it's asking me the column to be moved. So the column to be moved will be determined by the number we have right here. So we can't see the number vividly right now. So we just have to make sure we assume that the number is still here, because right now this is covering that. So I'm just going to have to say, okay, I'm going to close it right here and hit enter. You can see you have this number 1 is giving me this particular, you know, value we have right here. So if I go ahead and change the number to 2, it's going to give me the value we have right here. So right now I'm going to give it under formatting, but right now if I drag it down, it's going to give me some kind of weird number. So that is exactly what it is. So now, because if I actually double click on this, it's actually moving down. So I don't want it to actually move the way it's actually moving right now. I want something different to actually happen, because this is exactly how I want it to go. So what I'm gonna do right now is just to come right here and actually come down here and make sure I have this place some kind of absolutely locked down. So I'm gonna hit enter right now and actually have to copy this down, so exactly we have the right number right here. So what am I going to do for now? I don't actually give this particular part some kind of $sign, because I have this particular, you know, value right here going to be some kind of currency. So instead of that, I'm going to say Ctrl+1 right now and go to number and actually go and remove the extra decimal and put my separator right on it. I'm going to hit OK. Fine, we have something beautiful like this. So we can now go ahead and create our chart from here and see how we can actually go ahead and actually do some kind of formatting to make it very well stand out. So I'm going to hit on insert. From insert, I can actually see the chart I want to use. It's exactly what it is. So I have this chart. I'm gonna remove this. I don't need it, neither if I have to use this and something like that. So I think something is missing right here. I have to actually get this away. So just see. So we can select again. I'm going to select right now. I'm going to go back and actually go on this particular recommended chart, and I can see the chart I want to use is actually this chart right here. I can hit OK, and this is what I have. So for the base pay right here, I don't want to actually give me the header. So I don't. Sorry, I actually mistakenly deleted everything. So I can actually bring it back. I can actually make sure I have it highlighted before I do that, and I'm going to actually make sure I make it a little bit smaller. And now this time around, I'm going to have it cut away from here to my main dashboard. So right now I'm gonna have it so some kind of be pasted right in here. So your Control V will help you do that. So we have it here, and I'm gonna have to bring it down right here. So for now I want to have this axis away from here, so I can make it a little bit smaller to actually fit into what we have right here. I'm gonna actually bring this a little bit now, right? So bring it down. So because we want to have some kind of filter right here, so this is what we're gonna have to get away. But before we do this, what I'm gonna do right now is just to make sure I have this to come a little bit down, and now we have to click on this and actually make sure this is actually a little bit down as well. So now I can double click on this right here, and what I'm gonna do right now is just to make sure go to fill, and I'm gonna say no fill, and I'm gonna say go to border. I'm gonna say no border. I have to actually shift this because I want you guys to see what I'm doing right now. I can actually have it on a very full screen. So now I have this right. So what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna click on this particular grid line right here and go to grid line, and from there I just want to actually have to change the perspective whatsoever. So now we just have to click on this and remove those tops away from here. So we have two stops right now. So I'm just gonna actually put this on 100% and click on this top right here and move it a little bit to actually reduce the opacity whatsoever, transparency, wherever. So now it gives me a very nice look on my chart. So now can you see this? It's exactly what it is. So now I have to actually change this to some kind of a very nice looking gold color, and now I can actually select this color for it, and it's standing out right here. So for that, it's not really too cool on my chart. So on the dashboard, so I'm going to click back on it again and go to this particular shadow. I'm going to pick this, and I'm going to have to click on this, and now I can actually go with either of this. So right now I think this is going to be perfect for me. Now if I don't need that, I can actually decide to actually use this particular one right here. So it's actually going to be some kind of very cool. So for now, we're not going to actually do anything with this right now. I'm going to go back to my analysis tool. I'm going to click right here and actually bring back my show field list right here to actually have this. So I'm going to right click on this, and I'm going to actually create add slicer, and here we go. We have this slicer added right now. And what I'm going to do right now is just for me to actually cut this away from here and take it down to my dashboard. So now what we have right here, I'm going to be recommending you to a particular, I'm going to have to paste it right here so that it will not have any bad effect on my dashboard. So for now, I'm going to have this closed. I'm going to actually drag this down. I'm going to move this up. So bring it down right here. I have to go to option and make sure you have it to be on this particular. Okay, now we have to actually shrink it. So what I'm going to do right now is just to make sure we actually right click on it and go to slider settings, and now I want to actually disallow the header. But before we do that, we want to actually add more slicers. So we want to actually do this once and for all. I'm going to show you how everything works, and we're going to be good. And okay, I have to actually close this for now. So I'm just going to go back to my analysis tool, and I want to add slicer about category. I'm going to add a slicer, so a little category right there. I want to add slicer about job types, and we have all these slicers being added. So now I'm just going to actually have to cut this away from here and go to hit my dashboard. I have to paste this around here. So I'm going to Ctrl V to have it pasted, Ctrl V to have it pasted. So I'm going to have to move it this way. I'm going to show you why I'm doing this right now in no time. So I have just gotten this done. So for now, we want to take control of our slicers. So every single time we place a slicer, there is something that we want to happen. So what will definitely happen is that we don't want to actually have to, when I place the slicer right here right now, it changes, and if I want to clear it, I clear it from here. If I actually place the slicer right here, if I want to clear it, I do the same thing right here. But if I have it selected, I want to say, okay, now I don't want this particular way I have it cleared right now to show. I can go to slicer settings. I have this header, chopped off, and actually say, okay, now if I place this slicer right now, there is no way I can actually clear it right here again. So for that, I want to actually use a very dynamic way to do that, because I want to actually have to hide that away, and that is exactly what's going to take us to what we call VBA. So it's for we to record it. We are not writing any code. If you're watching, just stay still, do not do anything, don't blink, because we're about to actually create a very interesting thing. So first of all, what you have to do is just to go to your file, from file go to save as, because already I have this saved. So you have to actually, I want to show you how you can actually save this to be saved so well. So go to salary right here, and here you have the folder. So we can see, well, this is the basic Excel default saving, or extension whatsoever. I don't know, it should be extension wherever, but right now you have to save as Excel macro enable workbook. So just click on that and hit OK, because already I have it saved. I just want to show you that so that we can actually go ahead and do what we want to do. So I have to select that. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to go on go to the same developer right here and go and record macro. So just type this to be clear filter. I'm gonna put underscore right here, so clear filter or filters, whatever. So I'm just gonna hit OK. So right now we are recording. What we just did is just to start recording. So we are recording. I'm gonna actually click on this right here, and I'll have it cleared. Click on this, I'm gonna have it cleared, and have this clicked, and have this cleared as well. So we are done recording. I'm just gonna go back right now and actually go to the same developer and say stop recording. And after I might have done that, what am I going to do? I just want to actually go right to this particular aspect, to the top level right here, and you see this particular clear right here. Is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to have to assign this to what I've just got created. So I'm just going to go right here and say assign macro, and I have clear filter right here. I have it assigned to it. So watch what happens right now. If I have this filter and have this filter, and I click on clear, and everything just gets cleared out immediately. So you might not get what's going on right now. Let me put you on a very nice view. I think I can actually make this some kind of a smaller screen. So now it's 100%. So I'm gonna move this away right now. I'm gonna have to move this right here. So watch, if I have my figure actually exposed right on this particular part right now. So I'm gonna say data labels, click on it, right? I'm gonna go make sure I change this to white. So change this to white, so we can now see it better. So fine, now you look at what is going to happen right now. If I go lower, I have it changes. If I go for 2015, now there's nothing right here. So if I go say clear, I clear all the filter all at once. That is exactly what it is. So let us look at the code that we just got generated. So it's something that we don't have to write anything. So go right here and actually hit on what this module right here, and go to module 1. And this is the code we have just generated in just a few seconds that we actually record that macro. So if you're actually thinking this is what we have created, clear filters is the macro we just got created, and here is what we have just generated without writing any single code, but we have that achieved. So now I believe you've learned something new and all of that. So right now I'm going to recommend you to a video that's going to actually help you to actually get this done, because we have a video that is actually peculiar to what I'm about to do right now. So already I have actually gotten this some kind of pre-formatted before now. So I'm going to actually say show no header and hide if there's no any something like any data. So I'm going to say okay. So I'm going to actually have to expand this, and before I do that, I'm just going to go right here. I'm going to have this chopped off. I'm just going to say okay, do not show me that again. So let me give you a full screen so that we can actually see what is going on right here. So now we have to actually say okay, bring this to the top level right here. I'm gonna have to reduce this. I'm gonna reduce it a little bit again, so bring it down. I want to show the 2012 totally. So now here is what we have to do. I'm just gonna actually make sure we increase this, because I want to actually have to align it properly. Now we just have to bring this down. And before we do anything, I'm just going to go to the top level right now. I'm going to go to option, and here is the pre-formatted I said I have done. So already it has been pre-formatted for so we don't have to do any too much work. So now if you don't know how to do this, I have a video right for you guys to actually take a look at and actually see how you can actually create it. So right now, can you see this? So we don't want something like this. So what we want now is just to go back to analysis and click back right on this, and go to this particular top level right here, hit on analyze and go to filter connection and select filter for year because we don't want it to actually filter. So now that we've done this, so we have to go right here and actually say clear, and we clear the filter away from here. And if I go right here, here is what we have. So we have the filter being cleared. So every single time I actually click on this filter, nothing happens, but we want something to actually happen when we have this filter clicked. So right now, what do? We still have to go to that same place again and actually go to what? Go to filter. Okay, go to analysis tool, not filter. So now that we are in analysis tool, what am I going to do? I'm just going to bring this particular I want to bring a new pivot table right here. I have to go to my data source and actually go to the insert right here, go to pivot table. And what am I going to do? I'm going to go to existing worksheet and I'm going to go to right here, and I have to actually move it. So I have to paste it right in here. So exactly, so paste it right here. And what am I going to do? I'm just going to bring my ear here. So yeah, I think I should bring my ear right here. So now I have to do a format. I have to format it. Table form, subtotal, I'm going to turn it off. So right now I have something like this, and I want to connect my what? I want to connect my EL filter right on it. So go to analyze and actually go to connection, and I want to connect this filter right on it. So if I have filter right now, I have one shown. And what am I going to do? I'm going to use count A. I'm going to say count A. I want to take it away from here, so I'm going to put my count A right here. So this is exactly what it is. So count A. So count A does is just to count from here down to the last one right for me. In case it actually we have more years, we can actually increase it, or some kind of we can leave it to the third one. So count A gives us the count of what? Count of 1, because we have just a filter placed right now. So we can clear the filter. You know what it is that you can do? Clear the filter is for you to go to the top level right here and actually scroll to where you have your clear filter, right? So we have that filter being cleared now. So if we go, we have the 3 showing right now. So now this is what it is. So we want to actually use that to determine what is being selected in this particular aspect. So that actually is going to take us to something different that we need to actually know. So I have to move this particular tool right here, and it's not going to affect anything. Now I can actually say, okay, come right here. I don't want you to be where you are. So right now I've moved it because I want to use this particular part for something very different. So I want to actually say here is going to be my total. So right here is going to be the summation of everything we have at the top right here. So we have to sum this because we want to actually create the percentage of every single year. So now that is exactly what it is that we have. So I'm going to come right here right now and say, okay, just make sure you divide this by this. That is how we get our percentage. So for this, I'm going to log this particular total down. So we have to make it some kind of absolutely shut down, so we don't want it to move. So I can actually copy this down right now. I have this. So my control 1 will give me exactly what I wanted. So now I'm going to go to what? Go to percentage. I have to remove the extra decimal, just 1 point. So we have something beautifully like this. So now I can actually highlight everything I have right here and go to the top level and actually say centralized. So I have this done. So we have where every one of it belongs. So we have something like this. So what am I going to do? I'm going to show you what I'm going to do right now. So right now you see I have this 3 right here. We want to use that 3 to actually make sure we make it some kind of very dynamic. So what we're gonna do, so this is exactly what I'm trying to do right here. If I take you to the previous dashboard, so the previous dashboard is this. If I have the filter cleared, you're gonna see these particular values we have right here. They're not gonna be here any longer. So but we have to make sure every single time we click any of this right now, nothing's gonna happen. We're not gonna have that right here, but we want, if we select 2012 right here, to give us the value that is peculiar to 2012, because we can't read this very well. We want to actually have to read this figure we have right on this particular chart. So when we click on a particular year right now, it will give us that particular years of values. That is exactly what we want to actually create right now. Let's see how we can catch fun with that. So I'm going to go back to my workbook and start creating that ASAP. So how do we do that? First of all, let's see what we can do to actually have that done. So what we can do to get this right now is to use what we call VLOOKUP to actually get this done. So we want to actually look this up and see what it is that we have just got selected and all that. So let's see how we can actually go to use that VLOOKUP to catch this up. Okay, here is how the VLOOKUP is going to work. I'm just going to say VLOOKUPs So VLOOKUPs, what do we want to look up? This particular first month right here, that is what we want to look up, because every single time we make a selection, this is what's going to change. So I'm going to look that up. So I'm going to hit my comma right here. So now for the table array, we want to actually go right here and select this to be our table array. So we select this hot range, and what we want is just the second one right here. That is exactly what it is. So I just have to actually make sure I move this way so we can see it rightly. So now here we go. This is the what? This is the lookup. So this is the lookup value, the table array, and we want something from the second column, and we need the exact match and put 0 right here. Once we have it closed, we have something like this. So we can actually go ahead and actually expand it, and exactly this is what we have, right? So now we can actually go ahead and say, okay, first this, I just want to put my control 1 just like usual. My control 1 we go, and we have to just make sure we remove the extra decimal away from here, and the separator is always on it, so we have something beautiful like this. So now that we have just gotten this, now we can't just use this. We can actually use this again and actually copy this away from here. I'm going to copy, so to select that, I'm going to have it pasted right in here. So it's giving me the same thing. Instead of me to actually say second one, just give me the third one, because now I want the percentage. So now the third one, so I have the percentage right here, and for me to just copy the formatting, I just want to actually go and use my format painter, and here I have my percentage right here, because I'm going to be using this percentage to show my value right on my dashboard. So I've just gotten this. How do I actually get to show this and disappear every single time we make a selection? So let's see what we can actually do. We have to use logic to get this right laid the way it should be. I'm going to say if this right here is equal to, is greater than 1. So if this is greater than 1, that is, if it is greater than 1, which means it could be 2, 3, 4, 5, whatsoever. So I want you to give me nothing. Else, if it is less than, or if it is equal to 1, just give me this value we have right here. I can actually go ahead and hit enter. Oh, right now I'm having a mistake on it, so let me just correct that. So the mistake is that if this is greater than 1, give me nothing. Else, I think just gonna have to make sure I just move this a little bit now. For now, if this is greater than 1, I have to do that again. So give me nothing. So else, just give me this. So let's try to see if I have this closed right now. Hit enter. So it's giving me nothing right now because it is actually greater than 1. So let us go to a dashboard and actually click on this and go to where we have the particular filters. I'm just going to select 2012 right now. Let us go back to this. So now it's giving me this value right here. Can you see what I'm talking about right now? Exactly, this is what it is. So now I can actually do the same thing right here. I can actually just copy this. I'm going to copy. I'm going to have this pasted right in here. And here is what I'm going to have to do. I just have to move this to this, and I'm going to click OK. Now I have the same thing. So which means I can actually copy this particular, or select all those, and actually say, okay, now give me the same formatting I have right there. So now our dashboard is almost ready. So I can just go back right here right now and actually come here and select this. Never doesn't mean anything, so I can just go right to the top level, go to view, and from view I can hit on my formula bar, and from the formula bar I can actually put my equal to right here. So I can go back in here and actually select this. This is what I'm going to use right here. So now I can make it a little bit smaller because I don't need to be some kind of too big on it. So I can double it and have the percentage right to be right here. So the percentage that is peculiar to that particular year being selected is this particular percentage right here. And here we go. Now what am I going to do? I can actually go right here and say, okay, this is what it is. I can just come right here and say equal to 2012 concatenated with what? Concatenate with this. So I'm gonna have to like, okay, 2012 selected. Sorry for that. So 2012 selected. So we close this. I hit enter. Now 2012 selected is actually right here. So the same thing I've done before now is what I'm gonna do again. I'm just gonna have to copy this away from here. So I'm gonna have to paste this right here and change this to this particular part. That's exactly what it is. So we have it correctly. So I can go back and actually make sure I have this right to the top level right here, and I'm gonna go right to this and actually select this particular part right here and put my equal to right in there and go select this. So here we go. Now this is exactly what it is. So if I want to do something now, is for me to actually change the formatting. I'm just gonna actually say, okay, for now I want to change this to what, to something like this, and I want to reduce it a little bit because I don't want to actually overshadow every part of it. And for this right now, I just want to have to actually make sure I select this brighter color, and for this particular value right here, I want to put it on italic and reduce it a little bit, not to actually overshadow the other part of it. So now I have it some kind of, I'm going to pick this right now, and that's exactly what it is. So for this particular value right here, I'm just going to click on the value. Before that, I'm going to double click on this, have this particular one clicked, and I'm going to go right to this particular side here. I'm going to alignment, and I'm going to pick this, and I'm going to have to choose this right here. And what am I going to do again? I have to go back to this particular label option, and I'm going to choose option here, and I'm going to go right to the inside end. Exactly, this is what it is. So I've just gotten this done, so we are almost cool with what we wanted to do, and now we can have this on what, we can have this on just 100% to show us what it is that we've just done to see the view. So now can we see what we have just done? Beautiful, beautiful. It's just like what we are trying to achieve. So now if I select any of this, it's giving me the changes of what, of the value. Now can you see that it's really working so well? So we can just go ahead and clear the filter away from here right now, and what we have is the value just got disappeared. So now this is just too little, so we might just want to actually crank this up. So we just have to make sure we double click on it, and we have it. And I'm just gonna actually make sure I have it expanded out. And for this right here, I have to make sure I have this. I'm gonna make sure I select this alone, select this, and we have to make sure we have it seated right to look at right. So now for this right here, I want to actually make up for this. And how do I do this? Just go to the top level right here and just go to insert, and from insert I want to insert this particular line. So I'm gonna hold on my control, I'm gonna drag it down. So once I've done that, I'm gonna release my I'm just gonna go right to the top right here. I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna have to make sure I have it bold or thicker or whatever. I'm gonna have it to cover this particular aspect right here. I think I have to increase it a little bit. So much exactly. So we have to select something that is actually gonna be the same color with it. So we have to select, oh, it's too bright, so we have the color to be something. We have to select the exact color, and exact color is not missing, but this you just have to search for the color. So for we to not to waste much of our time right here, we have that. So now I can actually go ahead and actually drop this because we are going to be using this right now. And you see what we have just done to have this created. So we have achieved something like this. In the next video, we're going to actually have to create a part 3 of the video and finish the work right there. So now, beautiful thing you have actually learned on this particular video, right? And this is what it is that you actually do right now. If we deselect it, we have something like this. And now every single time you make a selection, you have it to show the value you really want to show right. And so now, can you see this? If you go to our finished dashboard right here, I'm gonna go right here, and here we go. We have the same thing, exactly the same thing. There is nothing much different about what we have right here with what we just what I've just shown you right there. So this is beautiful, guys. This is beautiful. If I have it cleared, I have this disappear, and you've just learned how to do this. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Click on that particular playlist and watch the next video. And if you want to watch any of my other video, click anything right here on this particular card. You will see a lot of my videos and you watch that, or you click on the icon of my channel, you go to my homepage and you see a lot of videos, hundreds of videos to actually take advantage of. Thank you very much for watching. Stay blessed, stay out of trouble.